Welcome to Twin Dragon Review, a channel of two guys making YouTube videos reviewing anime, manga, and occasional comic book show and movie reviews.
So Netflix recently released an anime called Ragnarok, which is about gods versus humanity. It was not really well received from majority of the anime and manga community, but we slightly disagree. We'll now give our thoughts about it after finishing the anime.
This review will contain spoilers, so watch at your own risk or come back after you finish the series. These are my thoughts after watching the series. There's a lot we enjoyed. It's really not as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. Going into the series, I had already caught up to the manga and reading the release when it comes out, and was really hyped to see it animated. My guilty pleasure anime are tournament battle mangas like Baki and Kengan Ashura, so seeing those fights make it off a manga page and be animated is nice, so I don't have to imagine it in my head. And I can overlook a lot of the bad and still enjoy the series. Sad to see it be at a 3-fight per season pace, but it makes sense since it's over a monthly release for the chapters. But if it goes too fast, then you end up waiting even longer for a new season and when the anime catches up to the manga. I was slightly disappointed in the animation, but it's not as bad as people are saying. We've all seen anime that have worse animation. I think Thor vs. Lubu was better in the manga. The animation wasn't impactful enough to give off the same battle to the death between two alphas as the manga did. Not everything coming out is going to be top quality like Jujutsu Kaisen, especially if they work out the kinks in animation and it comes back better than the first season. I think there's some improvement to be made, and it could be a really good series if they listen to the community instead of thinking they know best. This has the makings to be another great anime if Netflix learns from their mistakes.
Initially, I'm not the biggest fan of straight-up fighting anime and mangas. I prefer shonen and seinen series that are more character-driven, such as Vinland Saga and Chainsaw Man. But this one did pique my interest, as the art for the manga was pretty good. I didn't mind that it was a 12-episode season, but I wasn't a big fan of how Thor's backstory was animated. There's more to improve with upcoming seasons, but I personally don't see why he's getting so much backlash, since that slideshow part was only a very tiny part of the Adam vs. Zeus fight. Granted, it was a very important moment. Some of the designs, such as Kojiro, I think were better in the anime, in my opinion. However, I was a big fan of how most of the characters were drawn, as I do a bit of drawing myself. After finishing the anime, we're gonna go into what we liked and didn't like and everything else in between.
The animation, apart from the slideshow during Adam and Zeus, was pretty good. Definitely could have been better, but nothing to complain about that much. Good character designs with really good backstories. Makes you more invested into the characters and care if they win or lose. Adam was a really good example of this, with how they reimagined the events of Garden of Eden to fit well into a serious battle manga. A really good message to take away from the Kojiro fight was to never give up, always work on bettering yourself, and to rely on your friends. Also, a message to take from Poseidon is that being perfect isn't everything. You can make mistakes and still come out on top. I thought it was a really good fight, apart from what the majority of the fanbase is saying. Another thing I really liked about the anime was it staying true to the manga and not changing plot points. There's been too many good mangas out there ruined by their anime adaptations by either changing the plot because there's not enough time, or the pacing is horrible. Looking at you, Promised Neverland and Tokyo Ghoul. This series had a rare example of using 3D well compared to other series. I really liked how they used it with Lubu's army and Hermes introducing Zeus. Shiva's fight next season has the potential to be a really good fight if they mix up their animation. I really liked how they designed him in the anime. They also have a really good soundtrack going for anime. I hope it stays consistent with the second season.
Another bad part is possibly having to wait a whole year for Jack the Ripper vs. Hercules, as Netflix has yet to give a green light for another season, leaving things up in the air. Personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of how the anime is packed with multiple flashbacks. I understand that we need to be interested in who's fighting and why they are fighting, but I think they could have been shorter. There's a manga that's very detailed, so most fights won't be as detailed in the anime. I understand that, and I would have been okay with delaying it a little bit if it meant fixing that scene at the end of Thor versus Lubu. Nevertheless, I'm excited for the upcoming chapters and where the series is headed because it is in good hands. The final thing I wasn't too big on is, what does Zeus look like Netero from Hunter x Hunter? I always imagined Zeus would look younger and the fact that Poseidon is his older brother adds more to confusion as he looks pretty young.
In other exciting news for the manga readers, Viz recently announced that the series will be coming digitally fall of this year with a physical release following spring of next year. So if you do prefer reading the manga, it has amazing art and is very well detailed. If you do enjoy the manga, I would recommend reading similar ones like Baki and Kengan Ashura. As for what we'd want to see next season, and there's not a whole lot of complaints. No more slideshow presentations during the most important part of the fight again. That was a real mood killer during the most hype part of the fight. It could have been a lot better with a crazy clash at the end. And they need to be more impactful with the animation during the fights. Like they should have showed Lubu and Thor clashing instead of just giving us a flash of light then cutting to Lubu missing an arm. That was kinda weak.
Alright, what did you guys think of the series? Did you guys like it? Not like it? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the video, and we're out of here.